Why do brands fail at email and CRM so badly? So I'm gonna tell you the number one, the top reasons why brands fail at email CRM is number one, they're focused on selling their stuff, right? Remember, it's not about the list, it's about the relationship you have with the list. But most brands are focused on selling stuff and not developing, nurturing, or personalizing a relationship. They just say, I got stuff to sell. I'm gonna shoot it out in email. I'm gonna do a batch and blast approach, and just talk at them. Well, that doesn't really work too well for them, so they fail, right? It's a batch and blast approach, also known as spray and pray. Many brands also project their own email experience on results and kind of neglect the channel. There also is zero focus on learning or A/B testing. Very interesting story. We were just implemented a culture of testing at one of our clients. Just by testing alone, we saw a 30% lift in revenue because we implemented testing. We didn't even look at results yet, but just we saw that testing led to a jump in revenue. They also don't realize that a customer's journey is just not linear, right? A customer is not going necessarily from an email to buying the product. It's not a direct correlation between showing the product within the email and buying the product. It's not linear. And frankly, at the end of the day, it's not as sexy as social media much. It's just not a really the type of channel that everyone says like, oh yeah, let's run emails, let's do it, right? Social media is much cooler. It's just not as sexy. So they kind of neglect it. Why is this important now? Why is focusing on this channel so critical for you right now? Well, I'm going to show you exactly why. Number one, you see that snow globe at the bottom right? Number one, what's happening is that the world, due to COVID, turned upside down. It's like a snow globe. See, e-commerce has grown by about 44% last year. It's on track to grow about another 30% this year. So COVID disrupted the traditional buying patterns, and everything's still landing. And so you're in a really great position to capture a lot of the market share that didn't exist before. So it's so critical to focus on digital marketing to capture your share. In addition, Amazon is clearly absorbing all customers through their own flywheel, right? So Amazon is absorbing your customer base, whether you like it or not. Direct-to-consumer brands are also inserting themselves between you and your customer. And finally, paid media is getting pricier and it erodes margins. It just, takes away a lot of the margins you may have had from your product already. So by spending more money to get your customer, it becomes more expensive. Everyone's bidding now on more keywords because they also see that e-commerce is growing significantly. So that's why it's so critical to really focus on it right now. But there's one more reason. The number one reason behind why it's so important now is this, that number one, it costs about 600 to 700% more to acquire a customer than keep a customer. So not only will that customer make you more money, it also costs you more to get a new one like that. So why pay Google and Facebook to bring you leads and then pay Google and Facebook with remarketing to get those leads back? Existing customers trust more, they convert better, and they grow faster. So you will want to put all your energy into growing the customer lifetime value. So how do you keep those customers? Email and CRM. That's why it's so important for you to think about it now, because you're now spending a lot of money focusing on social media, focusing on Google ad spend, and they're all great channels. They're all super important. But if you don't have a great email and CRM strategy, what happens is you lose out on all the possible customer value that you could have unlocked if you just focused on it. Instead, you're still chasing that one-time buyer, that single buyer, instead of focusing on growing that one-time buyer into a two-time buyer, into a three-time buyer and loyalist.